Right, so far we've looked at the touch-ups in the media industry, just to give you an idea of some of the things they do on Photoshop. The second part is to actually do something kind of fun, I think, on Photoshop and show you the different features of things you can do. So we're going to focus on making a poster. You've been writing some pirate stories in J3 English. You either written them or you might be writing them now. So we're going to make a poster, a wanted poster for your pirate. So what I have got already is I've got up my Photoshop. I've also created, I've taken a picture here of myself. Okay, we can see it's just on the side. So I'm going to be getting that into Photoshop and turning it into a pirate over a course of a number of videos. The first video that we're going to look at on this section is going to be about getting this image and other images into Photoshop and being able to resize them and just do basic things like that. Before we do that, we need to set up our Photoshop. So to start Photoshop, we're going to do File, New, and I'm going to choose my settings on this area. Now, it's easiest to go Custom International Paper and then choose A4 for an A4 sheet of paper. That will give us the right dimensions. But you could, if you went to your own one like custom, just type in the settings that you want. One of the big things here is that the resolution is 300 pixels per inch. That is very, very high. That's really high quality. Okay, so what you might find is that some of the images you put in might seem really small, and when you drag them bigger, make them bigger, they get pixelated. So just for that reason, we're going to drop the resolution down a little bit. So I'm going to drop the resolution down to 150. Okay. Usually you do 72 if it's going to appear on screen, and 300 plus if it's going to be a printout, but we're going to do 150. Background content, I'm going to change that to transparent. That means see-through. So we don't just have a white background on there, it will be see-through depending on whatever we put on it. And once we've got those settings, we can click OK. One thing to note is sometimes this color mode sits on these other things like bitmap or grayscale. We're going to leave it on RGB. To print it out, you'd usually use CMYK, but because assessment of this work is all going to be on screen, we're going to leave it as kind of RGB. So if I click OK, that will load up my blank page. Okay, you can see it's 33%. So if I go to 100% down here, like that 100, and then it goes to a bigger size. Okay, and this is bigger than an A4 piece of paper would be, because again, when you print it out as A4, you will have the quality that you want. I'm going to go back down to 33 so it fits on. Okay, so we've got our tools, which we looked at last lesson, a few of the tools. We've got this area for layers, which again, we're not going to worry too much about in this video guide, but we will be next time. And then we've got our area here. So what we want to do is put some images in. Now there's two real ways of putting images in. One way is to get an image from your file, and the other way is to get an image from the internet. So if I want to get an image from my file, I click on File and I go Place. Okay, and that will ask me to find my image. So I'm going to go into my wanted poster. I'm going to get the image that I took of myself. I'm going to place that in. And it might take a little while to place in. Okay, and it's taking a little while to load, so there it is. Now, once I've decided where I want it to go, okay, I would have to click this button. But at the moment, it's the wrong way around, and I might want it smaller. So I can use the squares at either side to resize it. So I'm going to start with the square here in the top corner. If I go out of that square a little bit, I get a sort of curved line with two arrows. If I can then click and drag to spin it around. And because Photoshop is such a powerful program, let's move this here, because Photoshop is such a powerful program, You can see it's jumping around a bit. It takes a lot of memory. Okay, so I think I've got it perfect how I want it. So I'll let go, then I can drag in and out to make it a bit smaller. Okay, what you will notice is if you drag in too much, it will squish up. Now, a little trick around that is to hold the Shift key down. So when you start dragging, then hold the Shift key down, and it will keep its proper dimensions, its proportions on the image. And then you let go of the mouse click, and then let go of Shift, and it will stop. Okay, you won't be able to do anything else in Photoshop until you've basically applied the changes. You always need to apply the changes. So in this case, to apply the changes, we go back to the filled in arrow, which is our selection tool. Okay, what's called the move tool here. It's sometimes called selection tool, and it will ask us to see if we want to place the file there. So we click place. Okay, and now we've got our file in here. Okay, we've got our image that we've made. The important thing is if you're having any problems or issues doing things that you want to do, if you go back to this move tool, click on this arrow, it might come up with a menu asking you to OK or to place or to apply the changes, but that's what will probably be happening, and then it will unlock the other features that you want. So we've got our image in there now of ourselves. I've got the image of me. So now I'm going to get another image. So for my wanted poster, I'm going to search on Google for poster background. Might be a good one. So that one looks quite nice there as a wanted sort of a vintage poster background. So if I click on view image, okay, I'm going to copy that image, and then on here I'm going to right click. If it allows me to right click. See, it's not allowing me to right click, so I can't right click on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit at the top, and I'm going to click on paste. Okay, and then this image comes up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to want to make that bigger to the whole size of my piece of paper, my canvas it's sometimes called. To do that, I need to transform it, but I haven't got the little blips here, the little dots to transform it. So what I can do if I haven't got the dots is I go edit, and I go down to free transform. When I'm on free transform, I can then drag it to the size that I want it. So I'm going to drag it, I'm going to hold the Shift key down. Remember to get the right proportions. I'm going to drag it bigger. And drag it to the right size. I've got that little bit on the side that I don't want people to see, so I'm going to need to get it even bigger than that. So remember, as I'm dragging it, I could hold the Shift key to keep the right proportions. I'm not actually going to use the Shift key for this one, because I want those lovely little kind of old burnt edges on there, like that. And I'll drag this side in to about here. And it's taking a little while to get it just exactly where I want it. I think we're there. So again, to get rid of the bits that are on there, we need to click on the move tool, and we need to apply that transformation. Okay, and you can't see it here, but what you might see sometimes is things are really pixelated. There's loads of dots in them, and then as soon as you click apply, they come back to normal. Okay, so I've got my two images there on there. What I've managed to do is I've managed to add in my two images, and they're coming separately. My second image is covering my first image, but that is to do with layers, and I'm going to talk about layers in the next video. Okay, so try that. Try getting an image of yourself in, and might be some other images in there as well.